Hi, I'm Shoestring Jay and welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things thrifty, frugal, money saving, money making and general life stuff. So it's generally going to be the general life stuff today, although it's just a quick catch up really. I thought I'd talk to you quickly whilst Mum is having a snooze on the sofa and my daughter Chloe's staying, but she is out at the moment. So before she comes back, I thought I'd just have a little catch up. So I've been out, me and Mum have been out. We went to a local kind of makers market, if you like. It's like a craft type fair, but it's a regular market that happens once a month in a neighbouring village, and we've never been. I've never been to it. I've often seen the sign and thought I'm going to pop into that one day. And then I was talking to a lady last night and she said, you must go to it. It's really nice. There's some really lovely makers and they're really inexpensive. So we went today and I started with a vengeance my Christmas shopping. So I did mention, I think last video, that it wasn't too early to mention the C word. It is September and I've always really start with, really quite seriously buying for Christmas at this point. So I buy bits and pieces here and there. That includes food and gifts and anything else that I think we need. So I've bought a top as well from Vinted, which I got obviously secondhand, with Christmas in mind. I just spotted it, it came up on my feed because I like Joe Brown's and I look at Joe Brown's a lot. Vinted knows what you look at and it steers you in the direction of things. But I saw it and thought, oh, that would be lovely for Christmas. I'll show you that in a minute. And so I started my Christmas shopping and I got a few little bits. I can't show you them, obviously, because family and friends may look at them, but I made a really good start and I'm quite pleased. I don't buy like masses and masses and I don't spend lots and lots of money, but if I see something that I think is going to suit someone, particularly somebody who's difficult to buy for, like Justin's brother, I'll grab it. So I found his this morning, so I was quite pleased with that. And it made me think about community events generally and how lucky we are to have a nice community here with a lot of organisers. And I think that's what makes a good community, isn't it? People who like getting their teeth into community events and organising them, and you get together and meet other people. We've had a lot of examples of that this weekend. So yesterday, Justin and I went to see a sea shanty extravaganza at the local church, and it was 3 local bands singing sea shanties and they were fantastic. Honestly, they were really good. I love a sea shanty anyway. I watched that film, you might have seen it, Fisherman's Friends, and then the follow-up a few years ago and enjoyed it then. But if we ever are anywhere near the coast and there's anybody singing sea shanties, we'll make a beeline for them because it's just a lot of fun. I like folk music as well, and it's just another form of folk music, isn't it? Just a lot of fun, nice, simple, no frills. There was one of the band had music and the 2 others were completely vocal, but it was really, really good. I'll just insert a little bit in here.
Like true British sailors, we'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt seas until we strike soundings in the Channel of Old England. From Ushant to Scilly, 'tis 35 leagues. Then the signal was made for the Grand Fleet to anchor, all in the Downs that night for to lie. Very well, my own true love, when I return, united we will be. We will be, stop the dreaming of Liverpool, and breathing from my darling where I'm feeling for me.
And then this morning, as I say, we went to the local market. I forgot to film anything. I was going to have a little film, but I completely forgot to do that. But it was really worth visiting, so I'm glad we did that. And then we came back and got Mum's mobility scooter out because she hasn't been on it that much the last few days and she needs to practice every day to get her confidence up. She's generally doing all right, but she's better on the straight, and not all roads just go straight, and very flat roads, and sometimes they're a bit wonky, and she's very nervous about going around corners, and she kind of tends to, she gets to a corner, she thinks it's too sharp, she stops, reverses, goes forward, reverses, and I was saying, Mum, you could just go round that in one go, but she's just a little bit nervous about doing it, so needing to build up her confidence. So there was a little I went to last year actually. There was a little dog show at the church. We didn't do it this time because Justin's off with Archie, but they had a little bric-a-brac stall and that kind of thing. We went and looked in there and had a little look at that, and then we came up through our local park where they had a local event on as well, just a community gathering, and there was some music and some stalls, and we had a little look at those as well. But we were saving ourselves. We thought we'll go and have tea and cake, or a coffee and cake, at this new little cafe that's opened. It's run by Polish people, and every time I've gone by, I've looked at the cakes and thought, oh, they look out of this world. That'll be such a treat to go to that. They really look delicious. So I said to Mum, next time we don't have Archie around, we'll nip in there and try it out. We went in and we were really disappointed. It was really sad because they didn't have any cakes. Got there, they had no cakes. And they looked so rustic, the cakes. I really imagined that they made them themselves. And I thought they were kind of Polish specialities, and they hadn't had the delivery of the cakes, so they clearly don't make them themselves. So I was a bit disappointed about that. And then first of all, they just ignored us for ages. I mean, they're a new cafe, so perhaps their staff they seem very young and inexperienced, but it said wait here to be seated, and we don't ever wait because Mum needs to sit down when we get in there. She got off her mobility scooter, has her stick, and I said just go and sit down. We went and sat down, but then they just didn't acknowledge us for ages. And then when they did come, we ordered a couple of coffees, and they were tiny little cups. I mean, they weren't much bigger than an espresso cup, and I think if you go and have a coffee out, you expect a mug, don't you, or at least a decent sized cup. Tiny little coffees, a bit weak, no cakes. And then Mum ordered a kind of toasty, and she thought it's going to be like nice Polish bread. It was just white sliced bread in her toasty. I had quite a nice thing. It was mushrooms on a baguette with cheese on top. That was quite nice. And then Mum was sure that her plate smelled funny. I don't know if this is my mum or if this is real, because she kept saying, "We smell my plate," and I smelt it, and it did smell a bit, it's hard to explain, ceramic-y, but I wouldn't have thought it was so bad, but she thought it tainted the taste of her sandwiches. She really just didn't enjoy it at all. So it was all a bit of a letdown. So I don't even know if we will go and try the cakes when they come back in. Perhaps we'll get a couple to take away and see if they are good. But I'm now not expecting great things. And we don't do that kind of thing. Well, I do it more with my mum, I have to say, because she insists on paying all the time. She likes going out to have tea and cake. But me and Justin don't do that sort of thing very often. You know, we'll tend to take coffee out with us and refreshments if we're going out, because it's an expense that we can't afford. So when you do go out, you expect it and you want it to be really good, especially when it looked so promising. Maybe they were having a bad day. It was busy. It was busy in our little town today. There was the events that I've already mentioned on. There were a lot of people about, a lot of cars about. And there were quite a lot of people outside the cafe. So perhaps they were just very inexperienced team, a bit run off their feet, and it was just unfortunate their cake delivery hadn't arrived. You know, perhaps we should give them another go. But I don't know, was that just, you know, one of you needs to greet people and be aware. One of you, it has to be your job. If you're asking people to wait to be seated, you have to be on the lookout for them arriving, don't you? So, and no one was doing that. So I think that's a bit of a rookie mistake. So it was okay. I mean, what I had tasted perfectly nice. Mum wasn't thrilled with hers. And then I have had a very annoying thing happen this week. So a couple of weeks ago, I think I showed you, yes I did, it was probably a couple of weeks ago, I showed you a charity shop haul, and it was from our £1 clearance store, and it's just brilliant in there. And I think because it was a wet day, I'd gone in, instead of going to the boot sale, I thought I'm going to have a really good look today, I'm going to have a really good rummage, which I did. And I came out with some nice things, and considering they were £1 each, they were absolute bargains. However, a couple of days ago, I got a ticket, a parking ticket. So, because I'd stayed too long in the car park apparently. Now, I kind of was aware that there was a limit to the car park, but I didn't think I'd been in there that long. It transpired that I'd been in there an hour and 20 minutes and the limit is an hour. And I thought, well, surely I can make an appeal to the hospice shop and say, you know, I've got my receipt. You can see that my receipt, I paid 2 minutes before I left the car park. I was in there the whole time. It's not like I parked and then went into town, or, you know, and just left it and took up a space. But I spoke to them and they were really nice. They were very understanding. Said, you're not the first person, but it's controlled by a private parking company, and other people have tried to appeal and we don't have any sway and they won't have it. So you're probably better off just paying it, because after 14 days it goes up. So it was £51. So I paid £12 for my things, for my bargains, and a lot of them, I have to say, I didn't keep and I did put up for sale, and I have probably made half of that back. And if I sell the others, I've worked out, if I sell the others for what I want them for, want to get for them, I will make £50. So if I can sell them all, I'll break even. So it's a bit annoying, isn't it? But it is just one of those things. I did pay it. I know it's a private parking company, and some people have said, you know, you don't have to pay them, they're not the highways, but they do, you know, they might send the bailiffs round. It is a debt, and I don't like having debt. So I have paid it this morning. So I've had a bit of an expensive day for no good reason. Well, the expense of the presents was for a good reason, but the expense of the parking ticket, that was galling. So have you ever had one of those? It's not the first one I got. I remember getting one with my mum before, where we put her blue badge up and displayed it, but we didn't realise that there was a 2-hour limit even for people with blue badges, because normally if you park somewhere you can park 3 hours with a blue badge, and this was just in a supermarket car park, and we just didn't realise, we didn't read it properly, and we just assumed it would be 3 hours, the same as it usually is. It was only 2 hours. So I did appeal that, and I did win that, because when I tried to ring the phone number that was on the, I went back and had a look at the sign, there was a phone number, and I tried to ring the phone number to see if I could talk to someone about it, and you couldn't get through to anyone. And this was the one that you were supposed to ring if you needed to extend your stay. So as a blue badge holder, you could extend your stay if you rang that number. So I thought, well, okay, so if we had rung this number, we wouldn't have got through to anyone. We still would have got a ticket. So I appealed on the grounds that they don't actually answer their phones, so I couldn't have extended it, and I won. So it's clearly a thing. You can't have an extension service that nobody answers. So that was good. But then going back to the hospice one, they apparently do have a little machine in by the till where you can extend it. Well, it would not have occurred to me, A, that I was going to be an hour and 20 minutes in one single charity shop, and B, that they would have such a thing that you could extend it. So live and learn, don't you? Anyway, let me show you a little bit of this little event we went to. When we got there, it literally just kicked off. There was hardly anybody there, and we didn't want any cakes or anything because we were going to go to the cake shop, we thought. So there was lovely cakes and things like that there, but we didn't take advantage of any of them. Let me show you. So I think when you're frugal, a community event is worth looking out for. And obviously a lot of those have been now because we're getting to the end of the summer, but they still have them throughout the year. And I've always done these things, looked out for them, because you can get out and about for free or for very little. So I have found things like free exhibitions. Obviously most towns have free museums, free nice parks. Sometimes you have concerts in the park that don't cost you anything. You'll have school fetes, you'll have community fetes. If you've got a village green, you quite often have events on the green. And we have a lot of events here, as I say. We've got a lot of people that like to organise, and there's all sorts of exhibitions and sales and events like there were today, music events. I mean, the one we went to last night in the church was not free, but it was £8 per ticket with a glass of wine, and I just had a glass of wine. So £8 for an evening out, full evening out. We didn't get back till like 10:30, 11:15. It's actually a flipping good deal these days, isn't it? And they also have a little cinema, which is a part-time cinema. It's really in a hall, and they show films that aren't like blockbuster new ones, but they're older ones. And that costs £4 a ticket. And there's just all sorts of things you can do. You just have to look at notice boards, look at Facebook pages, chat to people, get chatting to people, like we got chatting to the lady at the sea shanties who told us about the craft fair. Just get to know people. It's really lovely. We also found out about a little bit more about, there's a club for older people on a Thursday afternoon, which I'm going to take Mum to while she's here at some point, called the Friendly Club. And it's just really nice. She said it's really great. All sorts of people there. Some people, all different ages actually, older, the older spectrum, but not just very old people. There are some people with dementia. There are some people who are bereaved, who just want the company. There are just people who like to get involved. And they have a sing-song, and they have a dance. They get someone going in once a month who does seated exercises. And they have coffee and cake and chats and talks. And it looks really good. It costs £2 to get in. So we can't do that this Thursday because it's my daughter's birthday and we're going to go out just with her. But maybe if Mum's here the week after, we'll go and have a little look, or I can drop her at things like that. She can get to know people locally. So when she is here, comes to stay, she's perhaps got a few contacts. So anyway, that's my thoughts. It is a quick catch up, as I say, but just community events. Scouts run jumble sales is another one that I like to do. Those kind of things. Scouts run summer fetes and schools run different things as well. So let me know in the comments below what nice community events you go to, or perhaps you organise some. Have you been to any recently? Have you got any coming up? Look out for Christmas carol services. That's the other thing I love to go to. There's all sorts of Christmas events, little fetes and bazaars and things in schools and community centres. Have you got anything like that on the cards? Have you been to something? Do you organise something? So let me know your thoughts. That is it for today. Just a short one for you. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.